Hi, I'm Barbara Bruce, and welcome to Get Out, a weekly virtual broadcast where we invite you to grab your friends and family, your car keys, fill up the gas tank, and get out with us somewhere in the White Mountains. And we are out today. We are in one of the most beautiful places of the White Mountains. And of course, this is about recreation and education today. I'm with the President and Mrs. President, that is, Jack and Jane Dyer, and they are with the White Mountain Open Trails Association. And if you haven't heard about them, he's going to tell us. Hi, Jack.
Hi, how are you?
Good. When did the club get started?
Gee, before my time. I've lived here since 2012. So the club's been around since 2000. Someone in the peanut gallery yelled.
That sounds good. Well, there's a lot of people. How many members do you have?
I think we have about 100 now. Do you know what the count is, Karen? 138.
Wow, that's amazing. And this is an adult club and it's a nonprofit.
Yes, it is. An adult club and a nonprofit, yes.
And the purpose?
Well, to sort of promote OHV riding in the White Mountains and, responsible OHV riding. We do rides monthly throughout the year, not in January to December normally, but when the weather's good, we ride. Our members know the tracks. We can teach people, how to ride safely, where to ride safely, and things like that.
Very important. And of course, on the back of my shirt, it says Home of the Maverick Trail.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, the Maverick Trail is an official trail in the White Mountains. It runs from Clay Springs to Sky High. It's 50 miles, okay? And there is work being done on extending it in both directions, and actually work being done on extending the trail system up here quite dramatically, in fact.
It's pretty exciting. And of course, we're right by your vehicle, and I notice there's a lot of vehicles here today, and they're different kinds. What is yours?
Well, this is an ATV, okay?
Yes,
and
please tell us the difference.
This one happens to be a two-up. As you can see, it's designed to haul two people. And actually, my wife and I own two of these.
Wow. And this is your wife.
Yes, that's right. When we first started riding, we bought one. And then we discovered we both like to drive. So we bought another one.
Oh my goodness. But do you usually drive together?
Well, yes, usually. We also own a UTV, a side-by-side.
Oh my goodness. And what's the difference?
Well, the side-by-side, the two people sit side-by-sides, the UTVs are normally wider. And actually UTVs or ATVs rather, are probably maybe 10% of the off-road traffic. The UTV side-by-sides have really taken that over the last few years. And they're wider, of course. This is 50 inches. And some of the UT8 trails are 50 inches. In fact, and that was a holdover from an era when the vehicles were all that. The 50-inch rule is, I always equate to the 18th Amendment. Okay.
Okay, and that is, for those that
Prohibition.
don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
I wondered how many people would get that.
Yes, okay. So, even the trails that are labeled 50 inches aren't anymore. The trails are designed really to accommodate vehicles, wider vehicles, and they do. And so that's kind of what the club is about. And we meet monthly and ride monthly and, do other things.
Is it still the second Thursday of every month?
Yes.
And then the following Saturday is when you normally have a trip?
Yeah. Maybe yes and no. Sometimes it's the following Saturday. Sometimes we let the ride leader pick the day, discretion, and since most of our membership are adults, many of us are retired. Sometimes we ride during the week.
That's fun. Why don't you get on there and let Jane jump on behind you and show us
Okay.
how it is.
You want to go first, right?
Ladies first, right?
Well, it's just easier if there's nobody sitting in front.
Wow, this is great. And so this is street legal?
Yes, it is.
That's amazing. What makes it street legal?
Well, basically you have to have a horn, and you have to have insurance. And
Show me that horn.
You have to have it registered.
Do you have a horn?
Blow that horn.
Let's see, here's the horn.
Okay. It works. Okay, we got
You
the
have
horn.
to have lights.
And lights,
You know.
okay.
It's really not difficult to
And it's required to be a member of the club, right?
No, it's not
No?
required to be a member of the club, but on most of the rides you need to be street legal.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. Various Forest Service trails and roads do require street legal vehicles. So, I mean, essentially everybody in the club is street legal.
You just might as well do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's
think
no
it's a good
point in not being street legal.
Jane, is there anything you want to add to what Jack had to say?
Oh, not too much.
Not too much, but you look very comfortable there and you can drive your own.
Yes, that's why we got two.
That's great.
And for many years, you often see people in the woods on a single up with two people. For years, that was illegal. Now they have said, the Forest Service has said, if you have a place to hold on and a place to put your feet, you're okay.
So you're good. Now, do you have to wear helmets?
We always do.
We always
Okay.
do,
If you're over 18, you can wear a helmet at your discretion.
just like a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Okay, this
A
is
donor
good.
cycle is my wife.
Yeah, the donor cycle.
The donor cycle. This is great, and you guys have a lot of fun, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to talk to some of the other people with
Yes.
the White Mountain Open Trails Association, and if they want to join, we'll be adding that at the end of the show so everyone
Okay.
knows how to do
Okay.
that. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Well, this club is pretty big, but also there is an Apache club, but everybody here today belongs to both of them, so that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Tell us who you are, introduce your wife, and of course, the most important passenger.
Right. Yeah, I'm Maurice Caldwell. I've been a member of WMOTA since I believe 2008, and gradually got trained to be a ride leader, and I've led rides all over Tonto Basin, all over this area, and we have a GPS navigation tablet, and
I love that because it
Yeah.
really does make a difference,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
and that's my wife Connie. She's my navigator co-pilot, and this is the responsible person that keeps us hydrated, and that's Emma. That's Emma, our dog. And
Thank
we've-
you. I'm glad you
we've
introduced Emma.
Especially made a basket for her. Yeah,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. So it's a safe basket for her.
yeah, yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
And do you drive, Connie?
I do. This is actually my.
You know what? This is amazing. We have women's vehicles today and the men get to drive them.
Well,
That's pretty
The
good.
name of my vehicle is Ira.
Ira is the
Ira.
name of it.
Because I had to draw money out of my Ira.
her second mandatory withdrawal, and I said, "What do you want to do with the money?" She said, "I want a Can-Am Commander." So
And that's the name of it. It's a
it's the
Can-Am.
Ira. Yeah,
Oh,
this is
wow.
a Can-Am Commander 1000 engine, power steering, and we just love it. We changed the seat belts into four-way harnesses.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
so
So this keeps you even safer.
you're just strapped in.
That's
Yeah.
comfortable. Yes, and after I went riding with you guys last year, I knew that being strapped in was pretty important.
It
And
is.
of course, I lost my hat just a little bit away. I
Yeah.
was sure that I had it, and it went, whoo, you just can't be prepared for that.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. So what do you like about the club?
I like the people that are in it. I mean, they're wonderful, friendly. We have great conversations. When we could go camping, we will have a campfire, and then one or two nights while we're out there, there'll be hors d'oeuvres that'll be brought in. Normally I have a package of elk, and I'll strip it out, marinate it, and then grill it and share it around for the people. And we'll have copious quantities of good wine to share with everybody too. So
you actually do camp?
I'm gonna propose to the board that we have a camp out later this month, like from about the 15th to the 21st, up near Big Lake somewhere.
Oh, how fun!
But it is so crowded up there. You know, people were locked up last year, and they got out, and even though they couldn't have a campfire, they're camped up there along the roads in dispersed campsites. So anyway.
Well, of course, we were talking before we filmed today, and I was so surprised, and shouldn't have been. Everybody wants to get out. They want to do the outdoor activities ever since COVID. And so this is one of the sports where you can do that. You can get out, you can have a good time, you've got fresh air, and we've got the beautiful White Mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a favorite trip you like that you've been on so far?
A favorite ride?
Yes.
I would say Lightning Ridge, Burro Mountain, which is a combination ride that I put together several years ago, and
He also does a fall color ride.
yeah,
The fall color ride.
colors ride,
That should be a good one.
which we did October 6th of last year. This ride goes out to an overlook over Greer. You're on the far side up high. And in order to get out there, we had to cut 72 dead trees off the trail. And then you come back and you ride up over Burro Mountain and go up to a spring, probably the best spring water that I've ever found, is Spruce Spring up there on Burro Mountain. And then come back down, and we can go to Big Lake, or we can just circle back to camp.
Well,
So,
cutting those trees down, I'd say you worked for your ride.
we do. Some of us took the chainsaw training class from Sholo Fire Department, and upon successful completion we were issued a certificate, and the the Forest Office, Lakeside Office has that certificate that we're allowed to cut wood for the good purpose anywhere on public land in the state of Arizona. So when we do that, we put the chaps, the helmet, the eyes and ear protection out and everything, and we just ask for help to come up and throw the stuff out of our way, and we keep on cutting.
So what you've just told me is that you not only have fun and recreating, but you're also helping all the other people that want to get out on the trails.
That's true.
Making them
That's true.
safe.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
true. We do that. Now, Jack mentioned how we get along with tracks, and one of the things we supply to our members, especially here in the Lakeside Ranger District, is this motorized and non-motorized trails.
That is
It's
a
in a-
great mount.
I don't need to open it up, and then we also give to them, and within the framework of education, the Arizona
laws.
Game and Fish, the laws and places to ride it. It delineates everything you need to be registered for highways and some forest roads, and the requirement for the kids to wear helmets if you're under 18. And one thing we always do at the beginning of a ride is we have a safety briefing. There's my little cheat card, and then I've got a ride leader little guide thing here. So that's just some of the things that we do to stay safe, and we don't allow alcohol on our rides.
And you know what? It's all organized. I love that it's so organized. Everybody knows that there is, there's signs. You have little signs that you do, kind of like people, you know, the old days when we got in a car and we had to put out our hands instead of turn signals. You have all these little signals for everybody. So this is great. And I love your vehicle. It's nice. Love Ira. I think we might have some other people doing Ira now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, it's been a pleasure.
And And you know, we're going to talk to some of the ride leaders, and already you found out that almost everybody takes a turn being a ride leader, but we're going to talk to two people that everybody says makes the most challenging and fun rides. And I am with Jerry and Karen Smith. Many of you may know Jerry because he's the vice mayor of Pinetop Lakeside. And let me tell you, this is the lady in charge of this vehicle. It's hers. Karen.
Yes.
Wow, how did you get involved in this?
I've kind of from childhood always had motorcycles, dirt bikes, and always loved the outdoors. So, yep. And then we hiked for many years. And when my knees gave out, we went to this machine. It's a great alternative. You can get places much faster.
Well, I was on a ride with you, and rides are really planned out in advance.
Yes.
And of course, I saw all that you had put into it prior to going. But then we took a little detour that was so much fun. It was it was like being a kid again, right?
Yes, yes, that's part of the adventure. You know, sometimes you see another trail that you've not been on before and you take off and check it out.
Well, as a rule, it is you that drives and Jerry is the navigator, right?
That's correct. He keeps me going on the right track.
Jerry, does she ever scare you?
Oh yeah. But usually she says it's your turn when it gets to that point.
I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how do you choose a trail when you are the leader?
Depending on the weather, I usually try to pick something that's not too hot. Like this time of the year, we want to be up in the higher country where it's cooler. We just did a trail ride up near Hidden Meadow Ranch, and we went up on Antelope Mountain, which is a little bit of a challenging trail, but everybody made it. We had 19 vehicles on that ride, and everyone had a good time. We had a lot of fun on it. Got a little rained on, which happens fortunately, really.
You mean like a few drops right now in monsoon season?
Yes, we want the rain. And we all have rain suits with us, and you know, we get zipped up into our rain suits when it starts raining.
So
and
is
we
it
still
hard?
continue riding even in the rain.
That was my next question. I thought, what do you do? Isn't there a lot of mud then?
Oh yes.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You are adventurous.
Makes it more fun, slipping and sliding in the mud.
Jerry,
Yeah.
was she like this when you met her?
Yeah.
Really?
That's why I met her. That's why I married her.
Because she's adventurous, isn't
Yeah.
she?
Yeah.
This is great. Is there anything you can tell us about going on these trails that you would like for the public to know?
Yeah, I would highly recommend that you go in a group, or at least more than one. One of the problems you can have is riding alone. If you have equipment problem, you're in trouble. If you have physical problems, you can be in more trouble. We had one member of our club who decided to leave a ride, go home by himself, only 4 or 5 miles, and had 7 or 8 seizures on the way, fell off his unit. He had an ATV like Jack's, and he fell off like 7 or 8 times. It took him like 3 hours to get home, and he really hurt himself.
So even if you aren't a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout, if you never were, you need to be prepared.
Well, you need to be prepared, but you need to go with somebody. Don't go by yourself, too. We always have 10, 12, 15 different units, machines going on a ride. So we help one another. Anybody gets in trouble, I have pulled people out of terrible places.
Oh, you can get stuck, of course. That could happen.
Yeah, you have one time one of the units, the wheel locked up, one of the rear wheels locked up. So I had to drag that person with this one, dragging the wheel all the way, you know, out of this 4-wheel drive canyon.
How amazing.
But if you don't have help like that, you're stuck until you can get somebody in there to go in and get you.
And you know, this is real important. Everybody, you have to follow the rules, and they lay this out way in advance. Everybody knows what they're doing, just like we talked about earlier. They talk about safety before they take off. And so this is great. I love your vehicle. It looks so good. And it's yours. Does it have a name?
No, it does not.
It doesn't have a name.
No.
Just, we have to say, this is Karen's.
This is
Yeah.
Karen.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Chuck, I understand that you definitely are part of both organizations, Apache and Navajo, if you will. And of course, I heard you say you might have been one of the 6 members, the first 6 members. Is that right?
I don't know if I was one of the first 6 members. I joined WMOTA just after Maurice Caldwell did. Was a member of them for a long time. Was looking for something else, so I joined Apache. Was the president of that club for 4 years and still remain active in that club. Doing a lot of volunteer work. The Apache Club does a huge amount of trail clearing, and I've spent many hours on the end of a chainsaw clearing trails. In addition to that, I work very hard. I'm also a volunteer for Arizona State Parks, and I pass out a lot of material. I sit in on advisory board meetings for grant applications, and I take a lot of the material that State Parks has, and I go around to the different dealerships and ask them to take the material and pass it out to new people who are purchasing a side-by-side or a quad and may be new to off-roading. We want them to be responsible riders. Because one of the things that we have found that the majority of people who cause issues for the off-roading community are not members of any organization. When people choose to join an organization like WMOTA or like Apache, they become responsible riders. It's the people who don't belong. So we encourage people to become a part of a responsible organization.
And you must be retired, am I right?
Yes.
Well, retired in the sense that you worked a job and that was the end of it, because now you're doing more work probably than ever.
Yes. I'm also active in the Arizona Alpine Trail, trying to get that up and going, working with Jerry Smith and a group of other people, and it's a really exciting project. We hope before it's over with that we have something that is the equal to or greater than the Arizona, the trail in western Arizona.
That's fantastic, though.
Yes, our trail up here probably will be in excess of 800 miles, tying a group of cities together from Hannigan Meadow to Payson. And we currently are in the process of identifying the trails that we want to use for that and working with the Forest Service to get approval for those trails.
You know, this is fantastic, and I love that you have shared this information with people. This is a fun thing to do. It is a responsible thing to do, and you are helping everybody in the forest with the trails, people that hike, people that have the off-road vehicles, because
Yes.
those are important things. And thank you for doing all that you do.
You're welcome.
And of course, we have thunder in the background, and they say when there's thunder that you should go in, and you and I don't have a rain suit, so guess what? We don't care.
All
We're
right.
real troopers here, right? Here in Arizona.
Yes.
Jerry, I know that you've been working on the Alpine Trail. It's pretty important, and Chuck mentioned it. Tell us just a little bit about it, because we are actually going to do a full article on it so that people will have it as a reference.
Well, it's a big project, and it's there's several people involved in it. WMOTA, which you interviewed, the folks from Apache, ATV Club, the Eastern Arizona Collaborative is also Trail Collaborative is also involved in it. This is an 800-mile trail that people can get on in Payson, Show Low, Pine Top, Springerville, Eager, Hannigan Meadow, and ride all the way around if they want to. it would be about 800 miles. So obviously this is a big deal, and it involves all of the towns that I mentioned, plus a lot of other towns that would be involved, that people will be staying overnight, getting gas, getting repair jobs on their units, resting up, shopping, doing all of those things. So the little towns, I'm calling them, in eastern Arizona, northern Arizona, are really going to benefit from this, and we're really excited about it. We're forming our corporation and have lots of help, and we'll talk more and more about this in the article, and be happy to give everybody a lot more information on this. But it could be a very big deal economically for the state.
I love it. This is really great. And of course, we've had fun today. We got out. We know that we're in monsoon season, and you guys always check the weather in advance, and we did too. 40%, that gave us 60, not going to have one.
Yeah.
But would you mind telling us right quick where people can go to get more information about joining the club, or just coming to check it out to see if they would like to join?
Yeah, well, WMOTA has a website, WMOTA.org, and they can always go to that. Arizona Alpine Trail does not have a website, but they have a Facebook page, Arizona Alpine Trail. You can always get information there.
This is fantastic. This is fun today. I can't wait to go on another ride. I don't have one, but anybody that has an empty seat,
Yeah.
here I am. Let's get out.
Yeah.